A U.S. person is a citizen or resident alien of the United States. Okay, a domestic partnership, a domestic corporation, any estate other than a foreign estate. You notice none of these say America. What does it mean? How do I learn to live a new life? And we're going to get into it. The very first thing anyone has to do is take back control of their birth certificate. Your birth certificate is a certificate of title. Okay? Certificate of title. The certificate of title shall contain the name and residence of the owner, a description of the land and of the estate of the owner therein, and shall by memorial contain a description of all encumbrances, liens, and interest in which the estate of the owner is subject. In case the land is held in trust or subject to any condition or limitation, it shall state the nature and character of it. So basically, you need to take control of your certificate of title. The birth certificate is a certificate of title. We've been led to believe that the birth certificate just signifies that we are, have been born from our mother. There's much more involved in the birth certificate than simply having been born from our mother. It is on a banknote paper, first of all. It is taken and traded on the world market. Okay, now anything as far as I'm concerned that they take of yours that they're trading and making money on it, at the very least they owe you a percentage of the dividends they make from you. Okay, now what does it mean that they trade this on the world market? Well, it means they're trading based on your future labor. Okay, and your birth certificate is worth a lot of money, as is your Social Security account as well, which again is in a fictitious name, being your all capital name. So the idea is to take control of what is yours. There is also going to be a second owner, okay, because that document was created, that account, that whole business, which is what it is, essentially is a business, is a trust, was created by someone else and has been utilized, and you at the age of 18 or 25, depending on which account we're talking about, you were supposed to take control of it again. You're supposed to take control of it once you're the age of majority. And since you did not take control of it, it was considered abandoned. Okay, that's what they do. The ship was abandoned, and according to maritime law, they can claim it. Okay, unless you come back and say, hey, I'm not lost at sea anymore, I want to claim my property, in which case you can do that. You can claim your property. They created a fictitious, your all capital letter name, and you are property. You are a human resource. Okay, that's where that whole word comes from. Your mother signed it over to them, okay, and they told your mother to put her maiden name on there, and without the father, okay, meaning without the married name. Okay, for example, my last name is Thor, so they had my mother put her maiden name, not the family name Thor. This way I'm considered technically a bastard. I'm technically, on my birth certificate, it does not have them as married. It has them as not married, which means that the father is the head of the estate. So I am not connected to the father. The father does not sign for it. The mother signs for it. This way you immediately become a ward of the state. Now they have to take care of you. Okay, and whenever that somebody has to take care of you, you submit and you give over your rights in order to receive that benefit. Okay, until you're the age of majority, and then you can take back control of that trust. But they never told you that, and that's what they're counting on, that you never know that you're supposed to go in and take back control of this particular certificate of title, this land, this asset. Okay, identification. Again, the birth certificate is used for identification, okay? Okay, identification of goods, okay? Because what are you in this world? What is a human resource? You are a good, okay? You are traded, you are bought, you are sold, you are goods. That is what that certificate of title is for. It's their certificate on you as a commercial asset, okay? Identifications of goods to which a lease contract refers may be made at any time and in any manner explicitly agreed to by the parties. But right now, your mother has signed away your rights to that birth certificate, so the other party that created the birth certificate has carte blanche on how they want to use it and make money on you, and they don't have to share anything with you because right now you've not made a claim to that title, okay? It's like an inheritance. If your great uncle dies and has a $10 million inheritance and the bank doesn't know where you're at, you know, whether by choice or, you know, if you don't come in there and say, hey, that's my great uncle, I'm the one who's supposed to inherit this, what do you think the bank's going to do? It's going to be abandoned property and they're going to keep it, okay? So in the absence of an explicit agreement, identification occurs when the lease contract is made if the lease contract is for a lease of goods that are existing and identified. When the goods are shipped, marked, or otherwise designated by the lessor as goods to which the lease contract refers, if the lease contract is for a lease of goods that are not existing and or identified. When the young are conceived, if the lease contract is for a lease of unborn young of animals. Okay, so let's just read that one more time, okay? In the absence of explicit agreement, identification occurs when the young are conceived, if the lease contract is for a lease of unborn young of animals. Okay, so they actually can make a lease of unborn young of animals. Now they talk about farm, right? The farm animals, but you are exactly that. Okay, you are defined as an animal. You are defined as property. The birth certificate is the primary document used to enslave us all. Not only does it grant the state the right to take our children whenever they want, it is registered as a security at the DTC Depository Trust Company and used by the government as surety for public debt. In other words, they can tax the person named on that document into oblivion to pay back federal debt that you didn't have anything to do with. Under the democracy, because again, democracy is code word for socialism, that's the corporation of the United States, not the republic that we live in as a nation of America. The reason they take control of your property is because they claim you abandon it. So, if you look at the definition of abandon, to relinquish, surrender, disclaim, desert, forsake, give up wholly, whence abandonment, non-abandonment, and abandonee. Okay? To constitute an abandonment of a right, there must be an unequivocal and decisive act of the party showing a determination not to have the benefit designed. Okay, and what they do is they get you to contract with them saying that you don't want your natural rights. You don't want your common law rights. You want the statutes and codes that they have because you are taking a benefit from them. You're accepting a payment from them. And that benefit comes in so many different ways, being insurance. Just your driver's license has insurance attached to the driver's license itself. Aside from the insurance that you're paying for, there is insurance attached to the driver's license. Any license that you get, it's backed by an insurance clause. So you're accepting a benefit when you receive that license, and therefore you're saying you're going to follow their statutes and codes. So to them, that constitutes an abandonment of a right, an unequivocal, decisive act on your part not to have the benefit designed. Obviously, there is a bond. If you look here, it's even in their statutes and codes, okay? Payment or redemption during lifetime of owner. Okay, and basically what they're doing is they have control of your bond. If you don't come back and claim it, then they're the custodian of the bond, and custodian gets to make the decisions of what they do with that money. So they are saying they're going to give you money when you retire. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. So they're just going to give you a portion of that money when you retire, as opposed to you being in control of your own assets in deciding when and how much and all that good stuff that you're going to get. Okay, so let's just read this real quick. Payment or redemption during lifetime of owner. Now, basically, this is the main point of this, is to prove to you that they have a bond on you, on your birth certificate, and that there is money available. They're not going to be completely honest with you, obviously, but okay, let's go through this. Payment and redemption during lifetime of owner. At age 59 and a half or thereafter, a retirement plan bond will be redeemable. Isn't that something? They call it a retirement plan bond will be redeemable. Okay, and again, you got to understand, they can tell you whatever they want to tell you. Okay, they have to be honest about the fact that it's a bond, but they're saying it's a retirement plan bond, but little do you know, it's a all the time bond. Will be redeemable at its current redemption value upon the request of the registered owner. Now notice you still have to request, right? Or a person recognized as entitled to act on his behalf. Okay, that's you, the living soul. You are the third party authorized representative. Okay, provided he is 59 and a half years of age or older. The owner's age will be determined from the date of birth shown on the face of the bond. Provided, however, that the Secretary of Treasury reserves the right in any case or class of cases to require proof in the form of duly certified copy of his birth certificate. Okay? Birth certificate, not certificate of live birth. Again, there's two different meanings there. That the owner has attained age of 59 and a half years. If such evidence is unavailable, one of the following documents may be furnished in lieu thereof. Of course, birth record. Okay. Prior to 59 and a half, a retirement plan bond will be paid at its then current redemption value upon registered owner's request. Again, I need you to understand, it says prior to the age of 59 and a half. So it's not like you have a retirement plan bond that occurs at 59. It's already there. It's already in effect. They call it a retirement plan bond. They can call it whatever they want. It's your birth certificate bond. Okay? It's been gathering money since your birth. And again, you have to claim it. Okay, you gotta go and claim it. But even then, if you claim it using their process, instead of taking control of it, if you just make a request, it says upon a registered owner's request. Okay, so you don't want to be a registered owner. You want to be the holder in due course. Again, it's legal terminology. Okay, it's lawful language. You have to understand who you really are. If you're registered, that means you're registered to a corporation and you belong to a corporation. Okay, now they're mixing two words together. They're saying a registered owner. Okay, that's kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It's an oxymoron. Registered owner. If you're registered, you are owned. Okay, if you're an owner, you're the holder in due course. That is what it's called. Okay, prior to 59 and a half years upon submission of a physician's statement or any similar evidence that the owner has become disabled, So they give you, again, if you're requesting as a registered person, meaning a registered, and again, real quick, let me just remind you, U.S. person. A U.S. person is a citizen or resident alien of the United States. Okay, a domestic partnership, a domestic corporation, any estate other than a foreign estate. Okay, that's what a U.S. person means. You are not a U.S. person, although anytime they put U.S. person down, you will check it off because you don't know what the heck you're doing. Domestic. The term domestic, when applied to a corporation or partnership, means created or organized in the United States or under the law of the United States or of any state, unless in case of a partnership, the Secretary provides otherwise by regulations. Again, you have to understand, if you're looking the definition of domestic, and it says the term domestic when applied to a corporation or partnership, okay, now you have to go back to persons, okay? They're one and the same. The term person shall be meaning to include an individual, a trust, estate, partnership, association, company, or corporation, okay? And domestic ties it into the United States. A U.S. person ties it into United States. You have to be very careful about who you really are and who you say you are, because they're playing a language game on you, and to get you to identify as the wrong person, because most people are stupid. They are ignorant. They do not know this information. That's why it's so important that we read their own statutes and codes, not that we have to fall under them, but we have to understand them in order to avoid the pitfalls. Okay, United States. The term United States, when used in a geographical sense, includes only the states and the District of Columbia. Okay, the term state shall be construed to include the District of Columbia where such construction is necessary to carry out provisions of this title. Okay. Secretary of the Treasury. United States person, a citizen or a resident of the United States. You notice none of these say America. Okay? They don't say America in there at all. Why is that? Why does it not say America? Well, I'll tell you why. Because they're not talking about America. They're talking about the corporation in the United States. Okay? Any trust within the United States is able to exercise primary supervision over the administration of the trust, which is why you don't want your trust in the United States. This is the whole process of the birth certificate, the Social Security, is to take it out of the United States and out of the domestic partnership and to claim it as an individual, not a U.S. person, and to bring it into a private trust, to move your assets, okay, into a foreign estate. You have to be in a foreign estate. If it's not foreign, it's domestic. If it's domestic, it's the United States corporation. I know it's a lot to wrap your head around. Okay, persons residing outside United States. If any citizen or resident of the United States does not reside in and is not found in any United States judicial district, such citizen or resident shall be treated as residing in the District of Columbia for purpose of any provision of this title relating to jurisdiction of courts or enforcement of summons. So you have to listen to what this is saying. It's kind of tricky, right? Persons residing outside United States. So first of all, they're saying persons right away. Okay, so persons is right away identifying you as a U.S. person, a citizen, a corporation, a fictitious legal entity. They didn't say an American. They didn't say an American citizen. They didn't say a non-national citizen. They didn't say an individual. They didn't say a human. They said persons. If any citizen or resident, and then again, it says citizen in lowercase c. If any citizen or resident of the United States So that means if you're identifying to be a citizen or resident of the United States, it doesn't say America. Okay, they're talking about the corporation of the United States. Does not reside in any United States judicial district. So they're talking about you can be a U.S. person, you can be a corporation, sub-corporation of the United States that doesn't live in the District of Columbia. Okay, but such citizen or resident shall be treated as residing in the District of Columbia for purposes of any jurisdiction of courts or enforcement of summons. That's how they get control of you. That is how they have control of you. So you have to divorce yourself from identifying as a U.S. person, as a corporation, as a fictitious entity. You have to take your assets out of their control. You have to separate yourself. If you don't, you remain under the control of those animals. Okay? You have to execute that fictitious entity and become the executor. The term executor means executor or administrator of the decedent, or if there is no executor or administrator appointed, qualified, or acting within the United States, then any person in actual or constructive possession of any property of decedent. Termination of United States citizenship in general, an individual shall not cease to be treated as a United States citizen before the date on which the individual citizenship is treated as relinquished under 877 AG 4. So, you are not a U.S. person. So everybody put your thinking caps on. This isn't easy. They don't want it to be easy for you. Remember, the path of the righteous is very narrow. It's narrow because not many people are going to follow in that difficult, thorny path. Okay, but as you go through that difficult, thorny path, there is a remedy on the other side. But first you have to trudge the path of, difficulty. Or you can stay on the big, wide, comfortable path and remain enslaved. So, everybody put your thinking caps on. There will be more to come. And thanks for sticking around.